Now, when I went through this theory, what I found is, okay, so this is a general information about vibrating screen. That is fine. But you see, what is missing here? In this experiment, your goal is to get screen efficiency, but there is no description on, like, no theory on how we define screen efficiency. You write in words that if there is a, suppose a particular size of hole in a screen, then it is expected that particles smaller than that pass through that, you know, hole, and particles bigger than that will stay. So if we consider a completely ideal scenario, then all the particles less than that, sieve size, that should go through it, and so on. So give a brief discussion, this description about the main, what is the main theme or the main thing which you are going to calculate about that thing. Equipment description is there, very good. Then what is vibrating screen, how it works. But then this should be also there, a brief description of that particular thing which you are going to calculate. And then in that theory itself, you can add the derivation of that thing. For example, here one can just in words, one can mention what is overall efficiency, how we are defining it, and then how is it connected to individual screen efficiency, or there is no connection. So such kind of things. And another major thing which I found missing, and for that you have to explore a bit over internet or our books, that what is the industrial application of let's say vibrating screen. What is the industrial application? Give some one or two example that in this industry, maybe ore industry or somewhere, 2-3 lines that there it is useful. Maybe you need there is a process which feed should be less than a particular size. So you want to make sure that particles bigger than that should not enter into the feed. And then it's a continuous process, that's why we use this, something like this. So never it's very good that you are describing about the equipment, but never forget what actually you are going to calculate. Put that information here, either in words, if you can derive it, that is also wonderful, so that it should be clear. So let's say if I give your report next year to a second year student, you should be able to easily understand that, oh, what is efficiency, how we define efficiency, right? In words also, give some derivations, also some mathematical expression. So that should be very clear. That is the main thing which we are looking in the theory. About equipment, very good, and put some examples of, as I told you, industrial application, and then come back to your original content, which you are going to, the main theme of this experiment. Discuss something on that. Okay. For example, in this you can write that the ideal scenario will be that efficiency should be 100%. But that never happens, and then you explain why that never happens, because it's a nature of the process. What is the more probable? The more probable event is that everything cannot go hit that hole and it will pass through it. It may stuck somewhere, something like this. Okay.
Yeah, one thing
sorry.
Yeah, I can add one.
Yeah, maybe one more. Let me complete this, and then so that there will be
on the figure itself, like whenever you are putting a figure, just put a figure caption.
Figure caption is missing. Yeah. Oh yes. So let me add this. Okay, I'll add it. So reference. Sorry, caption is very important. What is in general?
Reference also, like, because it's not
because this is not your image. You are borrowing from somewhere, from internet, from Wikipedia. Just mention that. If you are taking from a book, or just mention it from where you are borrowing this image. This is not your image.
Yeah, you should write like reprinted from, then the reference.
Yeah. And of course, as Manoj said, there should be the description. Caption of figure means the description of that figure. What you are what this. So you can say this is a schematic of vibrating screen, something that you should write, showing how we define underside, overside, something like this. You have to write in the description. Okay, and then never forget the last point. After all the discussion, at the end, mention in these experiments we are going to do this, that, whatever you want to do. In this experiment, our main goal is that we want to know how screen efficiency how we create calculate screen efficiency, because significance we have already discussed here, that, as I said, that a brief description of your parameter which you are going to focus in this experiment and its importance. Why we need screen efficiency at all? Is it just for the sake of calculation that okay, calculate screen efficiency, or does it give us some idea about something that if we will tell someone about the screen efficiency, he will come to know this, that, whatever, separation, extent of separation, whatever you want to say. And then at last you say that what you are going to do in this experiment. So now you are set to go to the actual experiment. Okay. This is fine, schematic. Again, figure caption is not there. Try to mention. Now what I found, and it's not specific for this report. I think throughout these mechanical operational lab reports, either you can use such kind of size range, or I think there is, Manojit, some way to write it, plus minus something, that also they can use, right?
Yeah,
Isn't it?
plus minus they know how to write it.
Yeah, they know it. So that I thought I should mention here, that this is fine. One can get it, but there is better way to write this thing.
Yeah, plus
Okay,
some,
so
then minus some, a space minus some.
One minute. Fine, Manojit. I can proceed.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's what I found. Yeah, main thing now I have to comment is, this is fine. Whatever your calculation is, go ahead, and if you plot, then plot it properly, and then again figure caption means the plot description. What this plot is, what you have plotted versus what this, like you can say that, say there is some figure, this physical quantity has been plotted as a function of this. Do you want to say something about the plot, like about some slope or some peak signifies this, that, very very brief. You cannot mention everything in the figure caption, just small description of figure. Okay, never forget labeling the axis. If you want to give a title to the plot, that also you can give. Put proper units for both x and y axis physical quantities. Okay, now discussion. See this, first of all, before going to general points, first, for example, if I will start the discussion, the first thing I will focus, that for example, you are getting somewhere efficiency greater than 100%. And generally it sounds weird. First time you feel someone listen that how efficiency can be greater than 100%. Discuss it. The first thing which you should discuss, that thing. That is the main thing which you are getting from your experiment, where you would like to throw some light, so that if a new reader goes through your report, he will immediately come to know, okay, why it came greater than 100%. They put it in words, and then probably you can go what the general points. This is fine, that's okay. So that's our discussion. So first you should focus on what ambiguous things you got, or what things you got which you are not expecting. Discuss on that. Try to relate the instrument artifact or the experimental error with those values which you think is not acceptable, or it is very off as compared to your expectation. So these things, and then you can go to the general suggestions which you want to make. So otherwise this report looks good. Now let me share the another report, because in this report there is no equation, nothing. It's a simple experiment. Then I would like to go to this.
Manish, I read that the previous.
Yes.
The result part, just scroll down.
Sure. Results part. You want to add something? Yeah, here.
Here, like when you are writing the overall efficiency of the vibrating screen is this. In case of oversize, so the right word would be based on oversize.
Yeah, that I was also I wanted to say
90%
based on
based on
oversize. There's nothing like that. This is nothing oversize. Efficiency is for a screen, right, Manoj?
Yes, and what this is like based on which strategy?
Based on undersize or based on oversize?
Based on oversize. In case of oversize, it's not a right way of writing.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. That this is not the proper terminology. That undersize efficiency, oversize efficiency. We should say efficiency based on undersize, based on oversize. Yes.
Just go to the just go to the previous page once.
Previous
page.
Okay.
Yeah, everywhere in for oversize it should be based on oversize.
Yes, true.
Based on oversize and based on undersize. The numbers,
then
I'm
again,
not checking the numbers. I'm just seeing how you are writing it. So how you have written it. So okay.
So I think we get 100 greater than 100% efficiency always based on oversize, isn't it, Manoj? As much I remember.
Yeah. So
Because for undersize, I don't think we will ever get greater than 100%.
yeah, you can get.
Is it?
Depending on
Okay.
particle shape. Like sometime it might happen that if a particle is like
No, but if you talk about undersize, let's say if I have some m mass of size range, and in ideal case either it will pass
no,
or
it
something it
yeah,
will stable.
yeah. We
So I
usually
think
we usually define the particle size based on some equivalent diameter, right? So if your
okay.
particle is
Acha.
very long in one direction, it might happen. Even if it is oversized, it might go into the undersize.
Yes. So basically, oh yes, I agree with you. Okay, so
Yes,
there is a probability that due to the anisotropy of the particle, it
yes,
may pass through. The same
and
factor.
depending on the shape, like if the shape is like it's very long in one direction, this
Yes,
might.
yes. Yeah, anisotropic. That's what I'm saying. Like, yeah,
This
I got your point. Aspect ratio is weird, probably
yeah, aspect ratio, but
very high.
that is not very intuitive. Like the intuitive
No,
case
no,
is
no, but that's a good thing. Now, that's what I wanted them to, be a little bit overthinking, and then they can put this kind of thing. That why over, because overall is efficiency greater than 100%. If someone is not from this field, he will. It sounds awkward. 100% how it is possible. Now when there are regions which you are telling, and
yeah. I think I had discussed these things in the class.
yeah. So that is specific to this one, but in general also that is the take home message that think over the values which you are getting, and then try to justify it in the discussion section. Mainly that should be in the discussion. That's what we are looking for. Okay, so this is one report. Then there is another report. Here we have I have more general comments. Yeah. So aim is fine. Now I never find this a good idea that schematics should come first. Never. This is like just jumping to so first of all, you whatever brief knowledge you want to say, give that brief knowledge, working mechanism, okay, industrial application. Why in working mechanism itself, below the working mechanism, you can use this schematic that as shown in the schematic. That's how you can refer. It's without any doubt you are going to put the fair description and reference, because this is not the image which you have created. You are borrowing from somewhere. So this habit should be developed. If something is not directly from you, please refer to the proper literature from where you have taken it. If you have taken it from some Wikipedia type thing, that is also fine. Mention it. Now you see here. Let's say you are going to describe theoretical capacity of wall crusher. If you directly give me the formula, it doesn't make sense for me. First, you have to tell me that what do you mean by theoretical capacity? What are the assumptions? What you are saying is a theoretical or ideal concept. Well, we all know what the theoretical means, that there is a rectangular band of particle which is going vertically downward. Whatever points are there. Then you mention that there we assume density is uniform. Which density you are using? That is not a reality, because there will be always void fraction. So theoretical capacity is a very ideal concept. Say these things. Directly going to this formula, it doesn't make sense. That is point number one. We are going to calculate capacity, and hence you are discussing theoretical capacity. So again, the way in the previous experiment, efficiency was a keyword. Here, capacity is a keyword. So discuss over that theoretical one, and then the experimental one which we will calculate, and why it should not be very close to theoretical. Why it should deviate. Discuss those things. Once you discuss the assumption in theoretical capacity, those things will automatically come out. That it's very difficult to maintain the assumption which you are making in real experiment. That is point number one. Second point, which I found very weird, and that should be followed by everyone, make a habit, start writing the equation properly. For example, if I want to write it here, okay, it's every person has at least word. Go to insert. If you haven't done, I'm just showing you. Go to equations. this box will come in front of you, and then you start writing. For example, if I want to write a note, go here, because you have write this, then say a 0 equal to twice of b. Never use this asterisk. Now you have to grow up. So there is a proper sign for symbol. So have I gone outside this box? Wait. Again, let me go here. Insert question, and then I want to come here. Oh, let me delete. And then again I will go to equations, and then let's say I want to say 2d into b. I will say 2b, and then there is a proper sign for multiplication. Put it 2d into b. This asterisk and all these things were fine till first year. Okay, so I want everyone to write these equations properly by your own, even if it's complex. These things are important. Using the star, it doesn't make any sense at this level. Okay, fine. So that everyone is going to follow, writing the equations properly. Okay. Now again, you see this thing which you are providing. Why you write di in this one? At least to make it like this. It will look proper. These are small things, but this will matter on long term. If you carry on this habit, taking writing things casually, लिख दो क्या फर्क पड़ता है? No. Be these small things. This is the time when you will learn that this d average. Why you writing like this? I read it DAVG, DAVG. How will read d average? Okay. So that is also important. That's why I told you in this I'll make general. You see how it makes sense? Xi DAVG. Who will read it Xi into DAVG? No one. It will complete. If some new person will read it, he will be unable to figure out what it is. Okay. So write it properly that Xi into D average. That's why I'm showing you that. From next time you don't you do it seriously. Okay? I can always go to insert equation, and then I can always say, let's say, into. In fact, this whole thing you can write using equation rather than text. So this is one thing. And what else I wanted to say? Yeah, calculation is fine. Again, you see how weird it looks like. So again, there is nothing in the discussion. Uh, yeah, this is fine. This discussion, sorry, I got confused with another one. So this discussion is fine. I liked it because this discussion is mainly focused on that why we have such deviation or not deviation. Why we are far from theoretical capacity. So this discussion is fine. So that's it. Good source of error you are giving. That's great. That's all. You can also think about whether there is any will be effect of the if we vary the RPM or anything you can think of. I think here there should be some description. That deep angle will anyway get involved in this experiment. If someone will try to, let's say, correlate it with that, or there is no use of that thing. Just as a curiosity, I am asking.
Deep angle, I don't think they can draw any conclusion from
There is no point. Okay.
this experiment.
Okay, then that's all. That is my overall comment, Manojit. If you want to add, then you can add.
Yeah, nothing much. So
Yeah.
I mean, for writing the equation, you can use math type also. That is also something.
Yeah, but let's say math type is not free, and
not free,
there is a pro version. So equation this inbuilt word equation editor is perfectly fine. I don't think there is any problem. So I mean unnecessary plugin. It is okay. Anyway, yeah, that is also. There are other plugins also, as Manojit mentioned. There is something called math type. MATH math type. So that font is very good. If you just need to download that thing, close all your words file, and then restart your computer after installation, and then automatically it will appear as a plugin math type. That is it does the same work. The thing which we are doing from this equation editor, same thing. And for such simple diagram, it's better you you do your own drawing. It's not difficult. You can do it. But anyway, this is also acceptable. No problem. So that's all. And now you can combine the comments of both experiments. I'll share it with you, and then accordingly you make a report. Now, if you have any query for the report, because no one has done any plotting, otherwise I could have shown you that what are the mistakes in those plots. So let the reports come. At least you put some plot if it is required in some experiment, because in this vibrating screen and roll cursor there is no plotting. But I think ball mill, when you will go there, you have to plot something. So show me the plot and then we will comment. Anything else you want to suggest in the report which I missed from student side, that this thing should also be emphasized? Please share it with us, your suggestion. It will help to everyone. Or if you have some query, that is also you can ask. Okay, so I think more or less they are clear. And one thing which I should not forget, maintain the proper font size, like proper. So let me show you these things, because I'm sure you are new and no one will tell you in these 4 years of stay. So sometimes, like you can always prefer this justified thing. It looks better for me. This is my opinion. May not be everyone liking it. That's what I do, and then I always maintain like fix at least 1.15.
Yeah, ideally report should be of 1.5.
1.5. This looks, you see, the same text, if you see, it will look better. Let me show you. So you can put all the things times new row, that is fine. And then 1.5. Yeah. And then justify. So it looks better. It will give a better look. These are small things which no one will tell you throughout this stay at KGP, and if you miss, it carries on with you. Because in this online mode also, people are getting very less chance to make a proper report. Everything, people are taking these subjects casually from both sides. But anyway, we should take it bit seriously. That is at least you. Here you will learn a lot of things. Report making is a very important regular task, irrespective of which profession you join. So that skill you have to learn, and this is the good chance where you can develop that skill. Okay, then let's come back to doubt session. Carry on. Ask your doubts for various experiments. Because I think, Baruji, this is how many classes we have arranged? 3 or 4?
We have one more class left next week. That's it.
No. This is the 3rd class or 4th class? This one?
I think 4th class.
So then we are done, because that's what I promised to NCP that Madan sir, that we'll give you after 1 month. So 1 month is over. So if they have doubt, then we can sit on some weekend or. But
this is our 3rd class or 4th class. Anyone from student can you confirm?
Let's check now. You have scheduled the lectures now. Let's check. I think 4th class. Go to your posts and you can check on Teams. Let me go. How many classes you have?
The 1st class, I thought, leaving about the 1st class, we have 4.
Then this is your last chance. After that, if we found there are many queries, then we will arrange a doubt class. Let's say in the on Saturday or something like that. Saturday.
But report they have to submit by some deadline. So
report we will extend the deadline. No issue. I think at least query part you clear as soon as possible. Don't linger it. Don't stretch it too much. Whatever doubts you have, you put it in front of us so that we can also work on that. If something is not resolvable here, we'll work on it and then we'll get back to you. But we'll finish it as soon as possible. Report submission will give you enough time. Don't worry for all the reports. Take your time.
Okay, let them ask like when do you want to, like, submit all the reports? You set a deadline.
1 month. 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 1 month 7, 8.
You tell us when you want to submit the 4 reports. It's only 4 reports.
25th of September. Is it acceptable to everyone?
So which date?
25th September. Right.
Yes, sir.
You have 20 days roughly. Because the more you will stretch it, you know, at the end you are only going to work 3-4 days for these reports, not more than that. So if I give you 25th, I'm sure most of you will start working on after 28th. So there is no point of giving, I mean, more than, so I think 25. Is it too late or it is fine?
It's fine. It's fine for us.
Fine. Or anyone has any objection on 25th?
So you already have roll crusher and vibrating screen assignment. We will put another 2 assignments. One for Riemann classifier, another for ball and vibrating.
Yeah, that's all. We have only 4. Okay, then we are fixing 25th. We will modify that to plus.
Experiment and data, I have uploaded everything. So we will just make 2 assignments and you can upload it
Sure,
whenever
sure.
you want.
Fine, so 25th is the last day. Saturday.
For assignment, 25th.
Okay, then yeah. Let's wait for 5 minutes if they have something to ask.
Anyone has any questions, any doubt, any comments?